Hey, what is up, PurpleHaze Nation? It is Vontae Poems. I have a very special guest, my best friend, person who I love dearly. He wrote my double album, and he performed in front of people like T.I., Onyx, Ritz. Yo, I have Jonny Brown in the building. What's good, my guy?
What's good, man? Thanks for having me. Wait, hold on. You said wrote your album. I produced it. You wrote the fuck out of that album.
But you're right, and you're right, and that was like a typo in this podcast.
Right.
But yo, you directed the whole sound of the shit.
Okay.
I there's a few things like no, not even a few. Like a bunch of those beats were just beats that you made and was like, yo, do you like it? I was like, who wouldn't? And I wrote to it, and that became my whole. Yo, I can't even like I'm getting real emotional because you created a sound for me and it works. I use it. I take advantage of it because it's me. So the beats that you write is produce is what I love. Like, you're my favorite producer.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Shit.
There's nobody else. If I need a beat, the first person I think of is Jonny Brown. Not because he's my best friend, because I have a lot of friends who produce. But because I know that I could write whatever is in my mind or wherever that I'm trying to perspire and put it on a beat. And I know he would bring that to me. So thank you. And also thank you for rocking with me on Purple Haze in the morning.
Hey, man. Like I said earlier, thank you for having me because that last episode was fire, and I was like, "Yo, let me get on this shit, man."
Thanks, bro. We're two artists from Ottawa, Ontario, but a lot of people don't know you're not from here. We're both not from here, but you're not from here. Where are you originally from?
So I'm originally from the GTA, just outside of Toronto. Oakville is where I was born and raised, and then. Later on, I spent some time in Vaughan, which is also outside of Toronto.
Shout out to Toronto, man.
Yeah,
we stole them from you.
Yeah, I consider Jonny Brown an Ottawa artist. Never forget where I'm from, obviously, but man, I've been here for 7 years, man.
Wow.
Making music and figuring out where I want to be and figuring out my sound and learning a lot. So I always love Ottawa. I call it home.
Now, wanted to ask you, if Jonny Brown had his own, whether it's an autobiography, whether it's a biopic, or a TV show, if you had a Netflix special, where would it start? Would it start with you now? Would it start with you in high school, as a kid, before you was even thought of? Where would it start, and how old would you be?
That's a really good question.
Thanks, man. We'll keep them coming all night. Pause.
I actually haven't heard that question before. I'd say for me, that would probably start when I was a kid. Like the first time I heard Michael Jackson.
As a kid?
Yeah. First time I saw Thriller. Like I saw the music video. That was probably one of my first memories of life. I saw Thriller when I was 3, and I was with one of my siblings.
You was 3. We pushing pause in the biopic for a second. So as a 3-year-old, I don't remember a damn thing when I was 3. Don't. But at 3 years old, you remember Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I have vivid memories. I'm one of those weird people that remembers, like, I remember when I was 2. Like, I have memories from when I was 2. But I'm one of those weird people that had, like, I remember a lot of things very vividly. I hope that, like, most of them are exactly the way that I remember. But you know how shit goes. But this one is for sure. And I was with one of my siblings, and Thriller came on the TV. We were watching, we used to watch, like, my house used to have a music video channel, either BET. In Canada, we have Much Music. Or we had, like, something, I don't know. We don't have MTV in Canada. But
What?
Yeah, we have Much Music. That's what we used to listen to or watch.
Oh man,
Much Vibe too.
We're gonna be doing this all night because Jonny Brown's from Canada and I'm from United States. I'm from New York, so there's a lot of things. Damn, you guys didn't have MTV?
No, we had our own version, which is Much Music.
Wow.
And then there was Much Vibe, which was kind of like the urban version, and that would come on certain hours. So we were definitely into that, but mostly BET we'd watch. BET we had, luckily.
So yeah, that's great. I'm glad you had BET. As everything was on BET.
Yeah. So that shit came on. I actually don't remember what station that was. I was too young to know about stations. But that shit came on. I remember being really scared, but so intrigued.
Were you dancing to it?
I think I just sat there with a look on my face of like terror, because that shit was scary, especially when you're 3. And it was just really, I don't know exactly which part of it that I was so intrigued by, but definitely the fear mixed with the groove, and I felt some sort of comfort, and I really wanted more.
And you like as a 3-year-old, you like what you hear. So even though did you like it? The song was.
I loved it.
So even though you were scared,
yeah,
you would still sit there and listen to the music because that moved you more than what was actually what you were seeing. Your what you was hearing was better than what you were seeing.
Yeah,
in a way.
No, I agree with that. I was hooked. I loved every piece of it. I was just so like infatuated with the whole thing. And then the end, the end when he, everything's back to normal.
Oh yeah,
it was like my first scary movie. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a film, but at the end where everything's back to normal and he turns and he has the eyes. It's like I was like, is this guy really a werewolf? Like,
yeah, you're right,
or
bro.
a zombie? Like, I was like, yo, is he? I was like, yo, I was so curious. So first thing I did was I said, like, who is that? And, where can I get some more? So
as the first scene of your biopic would be you watching Thriller and just being simply amazed. And how did you, so you just, you as a 3-year-old, you put the channel on Michael Jackson?
No, because, the TV always had a music video channel playing at all times.
Word.
Like, there was always, like I say, at BT or Much Music or, pretty much throughout the day, even if there's no one in the room, there was some music video playing.
Wow. So this TV stayed on continuously?
This TV got its ass beat.
Wow. So you would just sit there, because back in the day, we didn't have smartphones.
No.
We didn't have shit to do. We actually had to do shit or sit in front of a TV, and you would sit in front of the music channels as a 3-year-old.
Yeah. I was with one of my siblings, so they were kind of like, so I came from a blended family, a lot of different personalities. Kind of grew up in a dysfunctional but loving situation.
I had that.
And I loved hanging out with my siblings. Like, whatever they're doing, like, I was the youngest. Like, from 6 to 10 years old, they were, like, older than me. 6 to 10 years older than me. So, every single one of them was big brother, big sister. So, I was hyped about everything that they did. So, I would always be there. And I wish I could remember which one was actually watching the video. I'm sure they'd be able to tell me. But
you think they would remember though all the way back then?
Yeah, because they were like 10. They were like 9, 10 years old. They were like 6.
I can only you having a better memory than anybody else though.
I have one sister who is similar to me, where she remembers everything.
Well, shout her out.
Kat, what up?
It's good, Kat.
I'm sure it might have been her, to be honest. She's the eldest, so she was kind of like head honcho of the group. She always had the new styles, the new music. She always had the new Like she taught everybody lessons.
Oh, she would put you on.
Always.
Always. Wow. Big part of your success.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like all of them. My parents too. Everybody, and the failures too. Everything.
Wow. Man, shout out to your family. I had the honor to meeting a few of your siblings, whether in person or on social media, and everyone is so talented. I know you have one sister who paints, and one sister who does music, another sister who can do like managing. Like you said, if you were ever big enough to have a manager, she would be a manager.
Absolutely. That's Kat, actually.
Kat, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kat.
Yeah, she doing it.
Man, so you just came from a family that, to me, as someone who's outside looking in, shout out to Jonny Brown, outside looking in, and go catch that. We're gonna put that in the link description.
Hell yeah.
You always had someone who could teach you, or who can mentor you.
Multiple. Like either it was Kat, or it was my older brother Will, or my other sister Ashton, or my other sister Giselle. They all like it. Like every room had, like, I could walk in and the house was packed. Like we were sharing rooms, I had bunk beds, blah blah blah. But whatever room you walked in, including my parents' room, there was different music playing. Like there was different genres, different artists. Like different creativity on the walls, like different styles. Like I was exposed to so much from such a young age, and this whole seeing Thriller at such a young age was was tied into that. Absolutely. And as soon as I got a taste, and I will never forget this, seeing Thriller and asking for more. My dad had like the ultimate collection of like VHS for sure, but I mean cassette tapes and CDs, because CDs were like
big.
They were moving. That was like when CDs like started. We were really young, and so he had Bad. He didn't have the Thriller album. Like he had it somewhere, but he couldn't find it. We ended up finding it later in life, but
was that something that you were looking for?
I wanted Thriller because I wanted to hear that song more and get that version of him.
So the only thing you were looking for is something that he didn't have. Like
pretty, like I just want, you know what I said? I just said I want Michael, because I said I was explaining who Michael Jackson was. Like he's the greatest of all time, blah blah blah, and I was like, anything Michael Jackson just handed over. So I'll never forget when I got Bad and I popped that shit in, and the first track on that is Bad. Wow. And the way it starts, like it just hits you, and it's just like, oh shit! Like I started moving,
started dancing.
And I loved to dance when I was a kid, and so that started. And I don't know if I was dancing on beat yet, but I was moving. And the first line of the song really caught me too. Cause I was like 3, and he says like, "Your butt is mine."
Your butt is mine.
So I just started laughing, and I was like, "Yo, this is sick! Like this is." I was like, "Yo, leave me alone! Like let me listen to Mike. Like let me." So after that, I became obsessed. You know, I don't know if y'all heard that. That's the
hey, shout out to Albion. We on Albion Street right now. We live and direct on Albion Street. And if you just tuning in right now, it's Purple Haze in the morning. It's Sunday, and we got Jonny Brown in the building doing what he does. And we're talking about his biopic. He just got done talking about how Michael Jackson been one of his first influences. Is that cool to say?
Definitely, yeah.
One of his first influences as a child and as an artist. And it's funny you talked about your butt is mine. I read somewhere where Prince was trying to say that Michael Jackson was homosexual because of that first line. And I felt, of course it's not true, but Prince hated Michael Jackson.
They didn't, well, yeah, I was going to say they didn't like each other, but that's not true. Mike there's not to my information that he didn't like Prince, but Prince. Yo, shout out to Prince, by the way, too. One of my, other favorite artists, and my family, we listen to Prince a lot too.
A legend.
That was a little fun rivalry they had,
That was actually cool. I think that was probably like one of the only beefs in music industry where it was just about the music.
Yeah, it was.
And they would say some things like shady stuff, but
yeah,
it was like funny.
Yeah, well, it was just about like, a lot of it's just some bullshit over like record sales and who's really like making the best tunes, but all in all, they're two of the greatest of all time. And love Prince.
Shout out to Michael Jackson and Prince. Now, we're not gonna. What I really want to ask you is the good, the bad, and the ugly of Jonny Brown. What would be your turning point in your own story? What manifested Jonny Brown as an artist? Because from what I understand, you haven't always did music.
No.
You was always musically inclined. You loved it, and what was that turning point where you said, "This is what I'm gonna do"?
Well, I want to go back and say before the turning point, the obsession that I had with Michael Jackson and the amount of time that I spent and money that I spent of my own as a kid working on chores and shit just to fund my obsession with his music. So whether it was time I was spending learning every step to his dance moves in the music videos or just buying more albums.
So this is you as a kid.
This is still me as a kid.
So
this is the effect after listening to Bad 10,000 times.
Wow. And how old are you again?
I started when I was 3, so that went on up until I still listen to Mike all the time, by the way.
So even as a kid, not only do you love this guy as an artist, you believe he's the greatest of all time.
Oh, hands down.
So you in some way you wanted to be a part of that. You wanted to get merchandise. You wanted to listen to all his records. You even now as a 25-year-old, guys, Jonny Brown has the word bad on his arm. And not only it's the same font as the Michael Jackson cover. Jeannie came up, which is his sister, and she was even inspired to get that tattoo also. How was that?
Man, fam getting involved in, like, when fam can dive in to what you're drowning in. Like, that always feels good. Like, she started singing recently and I'm producing for her. And
yeah, and
that's family. That's a family affair right there. Amazing
duo.
And she's fantastic too. Shout out to Jeannie. But yeah, so this Mike obsession, it carried on till now, obviously, because I just got the tat on my 25th birthday. But so after doing all that and kind of living that life as a kid, I'd say the turning point was in high school. I was going through. I wasn't making music at the time, and I was dating someone that I was extremely infatuated with. You could even say like a high school
sweetheart.
You nailed it.
You didn't want to say that.
But I'm gonna say yes.
That seemed painful to even say that.
I'm gonna say yes.
But say what it. She was a high school sweetheart. You loved her. She loved you. I don't know did she love you? I
think so.
Talk about it.
That version of ourselves. We definitely loved each other, and the shit was serious. Like, we were like it was heavy. It was one of those things where like everybody knew, and also grew up in like she was Trini Indian mix, and I'm black, Jamaican, American mix actually.
Yes.
So African American. So grew up in Oakville. Not a lot of color. So we were like, not only were we super serious, but we were kind of like, everybody knew. Like we were together and shit. Like we were kind of like that couple. And
you was the Bay and J of the school.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that.
Talk about it, bro.
I'll take that. So I was going through that and had a great time. No regrets. Never have regrets.
Never.
And man, that shit, it just in grade 12 I had to move schools. And at the same time that shit went south. So I was kind of going through a lot. I was angry. There was a lot of emotions that were festering. So what I did to...
Well, what was the reason for moving schools?
Well, my parents didn't work out when I was a kid, based on the family situation that I was explaining earlier. Like, and it's funny because we're actually still like, we're a very loving family, like more than most families I hear about. Like, and we're still very close, like all of us. And
I always see that. Yeah, definitely I see that.
And my parents just didn't work out, so it was for the best because you don't want to be around that.
I definitely hit. I'm sorry, bro. I ain't even.
No, yeah, not even. That's like, I'm actually like, I'm happy about it because life made it a little bit more sense once that happened, and it was a lot quieter and a lot more focused and less
confusion.
Confusion and drama. So my dad, he got remarried. Shout out to my stepmom, who has been amazing in my life. All of a sudden I have this new influence who was different, but definitely a strong woman with a lot of good influence on me. But this timing was so bad because I'm going into grade 12 and now we're moving and this relationship went south. So I'm just like a young black kid, 16 years old, and I just have a lot. You don't understand shit when you're young, you know?
No, things happen and you just, a lot of it you don't understand and it goes over your head, but all you feel is feelings.
Yeah, a lot of emotion.
What does that do to you? What does balled up emotions do to you? What's your outlet? What do you...
So what I did during that period was I started writing. Poetry.
Poetry, yeah. Definitely can see that.
And like I went to a city with, I didn't know a single person. Like new school, no friends. Like no, like I'm leaving. Like I'm worried. I'm thinking about where I came from and like what she's doing and what my boys are doing because I miss them and shit.
And they're all out doing what they do in a whole nother city, and you're just watching them like on social media or something. You just like,
and this is grade 12.
Feeling left out is crazy.
Oh, crazy left out. And this is supposed to be the year where you're on top. Like you feel
senior year.
Yeah, like you wait all high school for that shit. Like finally you're up there. And
the thing about 12th grade is no one's looking to make friends. Like you already have your friends solidified, or you have your relationships. You already know what you want or what want to go into. Man, that must have been scary for you.
Yeah, I'll never forget that first day when I was standing in line, like registering or getting my class sheet or something like that, and just thinking like, just looking around, and like I went from a Catholic school to a public school now. It's a lot different actually. I'm just looking around like, yo, this is like, I don't know anyone. Like I'm out here on my own right now.
Wow.
And
there's more cliques in Catholic school versus public.
I think it's just more the leniency and also the culture. There's a lot more people of color in this new school, whether you're Asian, whether you're Indian or Muslim, Like different religions are in this now.
So more exposure. And,
Yeah, like
thing.
There's everybody.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of looking around like, I don't even know where to start. And there's some, so many options.
Wow.
And it wasn't just like a mostly white school now. It was like, there's everybody. So that was interesting for me. I was like, wow, this is like really, I'm not just like some singled out individual here, like on the basketball team. Like there's tons of like, everybody's just like their own. So I was like looking at the school, like, I don't even know where to start. Like I'm intrigued, but I'm also very scared. Never forget that first day.
And you're not single either. At this point, you're still in the relationship?
No. Well, we were broken up, but we're still talking. Like she was like, I was talking to her often because like I ain't talking to nobody. You know what I mean? And like I met some.
You was trying to hold on.
Definitely.
Shout out to Jonny Brown. Hold on.
Put that in the description.
Put that in the link description.
Never forget that day. And I remember just getting there and I'll say this, like I had a spare and I had a lunch, and I would eat my lunch on my spare, and then I would do my homework on my lunch.
Wow.
Cause like I just wasn't.
Wait, I need to take that. So you would do your homework during your lunch and eat your lunch during your spare. Your spare.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want people to seem like you wanted friends, or you didn't want to have the anxiety of trying to sit with people and trying to fit in. So
exactly.
you would like do your homework so it make it seem like that's what you were into, and
I was just in the library.
Unapproachable. You wanted to be unapproachable.
Yes and no, because everyone wants to be liked. But I definitely didn't find where I fit in, and I didn't want to. And I definitely didn't want to start like a bad reputation, or like get fuck with the wrong person, or like it was like literally like a movie, dog. Like,
yeah. So right, because in most of these movies, like you can, for your very first move, because you're new, you can either make the wrong move or the right move. It's what you want to be known for, basically.
Yeah.
So wow, high school is nothing but politics if you really think about it, even as kids.
And so small-minded.
Yeah.
Like you do one thing and everybody thinks something.
Yeah, wow.
So I'm just a new guy, and like I had a beard and shit. So I looked older. I definitely looked older. I look the same as I do now. And I just kept to my own for most of the year. I made some really close friends while I was there. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Andreas. Shout out to Tony. And definitely some others I don't want to forget. Jake, what up? And so I'd get home and my homework was done or it wasn't, and I would start writing because I had all these emotions going through my head, and like just not knowing where I fit in, and this whole relationship.
So at this point, starting with Michael Jackson at 3 years old, being introduced to it through your siblings and your father, because he had the whole collection, and all your sisters listening to what, since they're older and ages are spread out, I'm pretty sure what they were listening to was all different. So that's another type of music exposure. And being infatuated with Michael Jackson, getting the tattoo in your room, you have a Michael Jackson leather red jacket with the zippers with the gloves hanging out of it, which is dope. And you have the vinyls, and even your situations, making it personal. And now you have all these emotions, whether it's from school, from your relationship, or your parents, and the whole anxiety of going to a new school and making friends, and you needed an outlet. And poetry was your go-to at the moment.
Yeah, that was what I was up late night doing. I would be up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 6
just to write.
And I'd just be up writing. And I had a friend. I had a friend, one of my best friends, who, shout out to T Brown. He was going through a similar situation. He didn't have to move schools or nothing, but he also got out of a breakup that was killing him. So we would, like, on weekends, every weekend I didn't stay where at this like in Vaughan. I would drive back to Oakville to see my boys and just like be able to speak again, because I went there's one story where I didn't even remember this when my boys, I think it was Paul. Shout out to Paul. He said, Paul, you'll never forget when I came back and I was like, yo man, it feels so good to like speak again. I feel like I haven't spoke for like a week. Because
there was nobody to talk to at the school?
Yeah, like I just wasn't really, and it's partly my fault. Like I wasn't interjecting myself into the school. Like I wasn't sure if I wanted to.
Why do you think that was? Why? Because most people, is it because was it 12th grade, or was people a little standoffish? Was it because there was bullies, or the popularity was just too much, or like there's a lot of popular people in the school, and then they have their own circles, and then they have people. What was it?
I think it's
friends.
It's a I think it's a bit of my personality, actually, to just I wasn't in full circle. Like I didn't really know myself yet, but I know now that I'm not easily impressed. So there's a lot of things like, okay, yeah, I could hang out with like the cool kids and smoke on the hill and do all that shit, but I don't really want to.
Wow.
Or I could hang out with the, kind of basketball like nerds, because the guys that play basketball weren't that cool in this particular school. We weren't good at sports at the school. It was more about academics, which wasn't my thing. And I didn't really like them that much either.
Yeah.
I ended up finding my people. It took almost the whole year. I just lay in the cut, and I just wasn't enjoying it. I didn't want to be somebody else. And I didn't want to put on a front, and I didn't want to like I have friends that I've known since elementary, and they were all back in my old school. And then I had someone that I really cared about that I wanted to see and not see.
Talk about it.
And she was also back there, so
this whole situation, you guys are kind of broken up, 2 different cities. Now, you said you would drive back. See the boys. What about the team?
Every once in a while. There's a lot of push and pull, and I'll take fault for some of it,
Is this now these emotions, the fault that you feel? Can I say guilt?
Definitely.
The guilt that you feel, or these were some of the feelings you were feeling while you were writing in the notebooks with the poetry and things of that nature?
Yes and no, because the situation went sideways, blindsided.
Whoa.
In a way. And it resulted in anger on my part.
Oh. Are we talking about blowing up the car anger, or passive aggressive anger?
I was fully angry. Hurt, actually, more so. Sad, hurt, confused. Like I was blindsided.
Something she done?
Yeah. I was blindsided by a friend and her, and it tore me, man.
Wait a minute. By a friend?
Yeah.
And her?
Yeah.
And this was the time you were in a new school in a whole different city.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like betrayal. I have to say that.
No, yeah. Definitely, man. It was it was straight out of a movie, dog. Like I really felt like life wasn't real, like it wasn't happening.
I tell you what, if you did have a movie, bro, #1 in box office. Not only that, you would have to have a book first to people to fully understand you, to understand the story, should I say? I can't even imagine that as a kid, and because 12th grade, if you take away friends, it's already hard. Like you got to worry about keeping your grades up to get in a good school and get your GPA up, and first and all the extracurricular activities that you're already doing, and you got to worry about your SATs, like, and you had all this bullshit that you had to deal with. Was you embarrassed?
Hell yeah.
So these are a lot of emotions. Wow, you've been. I don't know how I would have handled that. Think about it. Like, I can't even imagine me going to another city, new school. You had a girlfriend when you left, came back, she's gone. With another friend.
Damn.
On top of that, you're doing homework during lunch. And eating lunch in your spare. And not really making any friends. No one to really talk to except for the poetry.
My pen, man. Those late nights. And also I wrote in a diary as well. Like every night for a couple months. And it was definitely some dark shit. Like I haven't opened that since, and I don't know if I want to. Maybe one day.
Here's the thing, and that's crazy you even say that. Sometimes, like, when was the last time you wrote in the diary?
Grade 12.
So so it was just you said it was a 3 month to 6 month span, and you still have it.
Yeah, I do. In my closet.
How is it? How big is the notebook? Like, is it a lot of pages? This is every night.
Yeah.
Was it a daily basis kind of thing?
It was every night. Maybe weekends. Because I was back home with the boys, so
Right.
5 days a week.
And it was dealing with some really personal things. Probably things you probably don't even remember that you wrote.
Definitely not. Yeah, I definitely don't remember. And it was like how I felt that day, what happened that day, and like the situation that was occurring, and all the emotions I was going through, and what I was doing. And I talk about music sometimes and say, like, you know, like this writing shit's helping, and I write poetry.
I want to say thank you, and this podcast is not even close to done, but I want to say thank you right now, because this is a side of Jonny Brown that even as a best friend I don't get to see. You know, this is a personal, like, people don't know. They love your songs. They love your production. But they don't know what you had to do to get here.
I'm one of those. I'm definitely one of those people that you gotta rip a story out of me. Like, I won't. No, actually I shouldn't say that, because I got stories for days. But I mean, I will rarely talk about myself. Like, I'm just like people hear something new and they'll be like, "How did I not know that you liked dogs so much? Like, how did I not know that you knew so much about dogs?" It's just like, they'll be like, "I know you for like 5 years. I didn't know that you cared about dogs." And it's like, I just don't mention that shit. And it's weird. I'm trying to work on that too, especially because if you're being an artist, like, people they want to know you.
Yeah.
So dog's terrible example, but
do you like dogs?
I fucking I like animals, man. I like pets. I know a lot about pets. I've had a lot. I know a lot about dogs. Straight up.
What's your favorite dog? Like favorite breed of dog?
Damn, that's tough. One that would fit my personality.
Yeah.
And my lifestyle, a border collie.
Wow, they're the smartest dogs.
They are.
They are the smartest dogs.
And they do shit.
That says a lot about you too, like, because border collies is like, they have common sense almost. Like, they're the only dog that I ever seen with common sense. I took an animal science class in high school, and they were right. They're smart. Have you ever had a border collie?
I've never had one of my own. I've met multiple, and
they're beautiful too.
They are, man. They get overshadowed straight up. Like, they're under. Like, that's a dog that you be doing frisbee with and shit. Like, that's a real, and it's not too big.
Yeah,
it's really smart. I really mess with that dog, like, that breed. I'm gonna get one of those one day when I have the money and the time. Damn.
No, so back to this book that you were writing. I feel like as a friend, don't rush. It's probably so. I have things or have memories that I really don't like to visit because not only do you have to visit, you have to address it, and that's something that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
But once there's gonna be a time in your life where it requires you to open the book. Oh, I don't know. That can be tonight, could be tomorrow, could be in the next 5 years. But I had this feeling that book is gonna open. It's just gonna be a gold light, and it's just gonna say, "What?"
Yo, I think you're right, man.
Now, all jokes aside, the reason that book has so much power to you, and that's the reason why you feel this way.
Yeah, it took in what I was feeling, what I was able to express at the time.
Absorb.
Yeah.
It absorbed all your emotions.
Yeah,
The
like
betrayal.
I would actually feel better after, like, yo, y'all out there going through some struggles, man. Like, yo, write it down.
I gotta commend you too, as a brother. You're not out here trying to sell drugs, trying to make a quick buck.
No.
You would wake up 6 a.m, write poetry and feel better.
Yeah.
Listen to some Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's in your priorities is just crazy. As a 3-year-old, as a kid, going into a music store.
Yeah, there was this one used CD store. It was called The Beat Goes On, I think.
Beat goes. That's fire.
Bless. Yeah.
That's fire.
And yo,
Sorry.
I used to go on trips with my dad and some of my, like, whoever was around down to pick up some albums, and we go and check the price of whatever whatever albums they had, and I'd always be looking at the Michael Jackson section. I'd get Jackson 5. I was out there. Finally got Thriller,
Nice.
Off the Wall, Dangerous. Like, I took them all. Get DVDs, all the music videos. Like, I was hooked.
Wow. And you would use, as a kid, your chores money or the money that you had or whatever you get the money from, and instead of buying like toys and candy, which I'm sure you bought,
Yeah.
you bought Michael Jackson or bought something pertaining to music.
Yeah, like, I always, like, I did that dumb, but that kid shit where you eat candy and play video games all the time and all that shit, Pokemon this and all that. But on my off time, I was spending a lot of time learning these dances and learning the words to every song and just listening repeatedly.
Can I just mention that? Who you are now, and this is cliche as fuck, everything you've been through is the reason why you are now. Young Michael Jackson, watching Thriller, being scared, but loving what you hear enough to still sit there and watch. Going out and buying music, to asking your dad, I want Michael Jackson, he's the greatest of all time. Yeah, Dad, I need all his albums. To writing poetry. In a way, you're a fantastic songwriter. Like, fantastic is actually an understatement.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're a great songwriter. And I don't think anyone would disagree. Can I just tell you some of my favorite tracks?
Absolutely.
Around the time I met you, the first track I've ever listened to Jonny Brown was 6 Figures. I was riding in a Civic, right? That was the Civic.
It was a Civic.
And
with the dents.
Civics with the dents. And we were going to the studio. We was driving to the studio he was working at. Shout out to Audio Valley. And he was like, yo, this is a new song that I'm gonna be dropping soon. I'm just trying to get the 6 figures. And in my head I'm like, he's on what I'm on. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. I can relate to this. And did you produce that beat?
No, shout out to Trey Timeless, the homie, man. Learned so much from him. When I met him was kind of when I started making like really high quality music, and he produced that beat.
Another track that I like a lot. Another track. There's a few tracks that's not even out, like Vince Carter. We performed that. If you came to our show, you know Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Build is crazy. Oh my goodness! Every time you perform that track, bro, it just sounds great in the club. And in my ears and in my car. And some of the tracks I like that you wrote that have us both as me as a feature is probably Addicted.
Yeah. Love that tune, man.
Addicted. What is that song? What are you addicted to? What are you addicted to? Who you're addicted to?
I have a very soft heart, I'll say. Like if I'm gonna ride with you, like I got my seatbelt on, like I'm we can go real fast. I don't care. Like we can go anywhere. I'm sitting there for you. That song kind of made itself. Like I wrote it the same time I was making the beat, and it all happened in a day basically. And I just it was kind of a collection of individuals that I felt really addicted to. I get addicted, you know, like if you really someone that I feel like we really vibe together, like it's really serious for me.
Would you, and I want you to think about this for a second, if when you date a person or fuck with a person, female, what are you more addicted to? And we're going to go back to after the poetry, but I want to know this from you. Do you get addicted more to the person or the emotions? The feeling that you get from the person?
I'm going to say the feelings. The person ties into that, of course.
Right.
But
like she has to make you feel.
Yeah, there's been people that I've been with that made me feel like, you know, like not 100 but 1,000, you know, a million.
Like a motherfucking king.
Like a fucking king, man. And there's been people I've been with that made me feel like I was nothing, like dirt, like. And there's songs that reflect that as well.
When that happens, though, say the person that makes you feel on 1,000. What happens when she doesn't make you feel like that? Like she makes you feel like a king, blah, blah, blah. But what happens when the emotions are faded? Do you step away? Do you try?
I'm bad with that. I've definitely gotten a lot better in the last little bit, where if you're not in, then you're in my way.
Wow, that's fire. You're not in, you're in my way, okay.
And I used to be addicted, where give me the fix. I'm like, what are you doing? I know that that you're not helping me, but you're helping me feel good. So I go back. Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Shout out to everybody I had back and forth with.
Shout out, are we naming names or no?
Hell no.
Hell no. Fuck that.
Hell no.
I like to analyze your music. You have a funny way of making love songs. I shouldn't say funny way because it's not funny. Like they're great. They're awesome. Addicted is another one. Love Drunk. I was gonna play Love Drunk on here. I decided not to because I like talking to you. Like this is a side of Jonny Brown that we need to keep constant. You know. But I will drop it. Hopefully, if you say the same.
Yeah.
On SoundCloud.
We can drop it. Oh, hold on. We'll throw it at the end of the.
We'll throw it at the end. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
If you like and comment this thing, we'll put it on SoundCloud.
You guys need to hear Love Drunk. It's a track that Jonny Brown produced and wrote. I had the great privilege of being featured on it, but even if I wasn't, the song bangs. And that's the reason why I asked you, because you make songs more off of or pertaining to emotions rather than a person.
Yeah.
Sidekick, love drunk, addicted. Those are things how you just, you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that, and it's amazing because I want to know, do you when you love, do you love the person or do you love the emotions? Because I feel in order for a relationship to flourish, and I had to learn this for myself, you gotta love the person more than the feelings. And that's why you said you're bad at that. That person is not gonna make you feel on 1,365 days a year.
Hasn't happened yet.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Like, definitely they're out there. But, yeah.
Do you want that now, though?
I don't know if that's what's good for me right now. I might know them already, but they're not.
Are we naming names? No, I'm sorry.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Like, if you were to ask me honestly, if I knew anyone right now that I could think of, sorry, but
somebody
I'm
hurt.
saying
Somebody hurt.
Oh shit.
Somebody's hurt. Somebody.
In terms of you know what? Let me just. I'm not trying to fuck up my shit.
I don't know who did not need to hear that.
But I might know you already, and then when the time comes, that'll work. But in terms of history, that shit hasn't happened yet.
Wow. I kind of think you don't want it. Just not yet.
You know what, man? Like, and this podcast is honest.
Purple haze in the morning.
Purple haze in the morning. He's smoking. I'm drinking.
Talk about it.
Like, we're telling all truths. Like, I earlier with the things that I said on this pod, I haven't even revisited those thoughts or told anyone. I haven't been asked that shit. But
that's the reason why, and it's, I have to interrupt you. That's the reason why I needed you on here. Shout out to Talk to the Mic, shout out to I Don't Want to Rise, and shout out to
Breakdown to the Lowdown.
Breakdown to the Lowdown.
Breakdown to Lowdown. Sorry.
Breakdown to Lowdown. That wasn't. All of them were fantastic. I loved all of them, and you were great. But as a fan, I had a lot more questions that needed to be answered, and that's the reason why I have you on here today. And yo, I'm glad. This might be like I'm starting to get to know you.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm one of those motherfuckers that just don't address my own shit enough. So it's funny because we've been so close for how many years, and like I don't talk. Well, you know what my whole thing is too, is if you don't ask, I don't tell. I've always kind of been that way. Like, I give the amount of information that's required or less. So you're asking me out here.
Shout out to Jonny Brown out here just answering questions direct. You know, I watch a lot of CSI and shit. That's where they be fucking up at. They be asking them one question and then they veer off to nothing, telling on themselves or snitching on accident.
Yeah.
That's where you get fucked up at.
That's why you just don't be a piece of shit. And then when you tell the truth, it doesn't, like, you know, like, you don't need to be afraid. That's what I realized, actually not so long ago, is don't be afraid of what the first thing that comes to your mind. Because you're not a piece of shit. If you're a piece of shit, okay, I guess by all means, try your best to, like, cover that up.
Right.
But if you're a good person, then what comes to your mind shouldn't be bad. It's gonna be real. So I'm on a kick right now. Yeah.
I gotta say, that's some real shit.
Yeah.
Enough of that. Enough about that love shit. Fuck love for now. Jonny Brown writing in his notebooks every day for how long? 6 months?
3. I think it was maybe like 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months. what happens after writing poetry? After 4 months, what happens?
So during that period, I was meeting up with my boy T Brown, and we were spitting the verses to each other. And every weekend we'd be like, "Yo, what'd you come up with this week?" And just getting addicted to that progression. And then at one point I said, like, "Yo, why don't we hop on a beat? Why don't we try some of these things on a beat?" And YouTube was kind of like really getting a lot of traction at the time.
Yeah, it just came out right around that time.
Yeah, like I think it. Like I remember YouTube where it would take like 10 minutes just to like load a video. But at this point, it was like a thing where you had to wait maybe 1 minute. So like it was really starting to get like popping.
Wow.
It was maybe like 2-3 years into maybe 5 years into YouTube actually. Because I remember it was there in like grade 8, but now it's grade 11ish, and grade 12 is actually when it went in, right?
Wow.
Or we were doing this heavy. So
was this the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
like September.
This is in the new city.
Yes.
So you had a friend?
So no, T Brown was from the old city, so I'd go back and meet up with him.
Oh, so okay, so he would come to you, or you go to him?
I go to his crib.
Okay.
That's where all the homies were, so I'd go there every weekend, and we would spit those verses, and I was like, "Yo, let's hop on a beat." There's tons of beats on YouTube, and so we started rapping these verses on beats. And I was kind of like coming up with songs, but we weren't really coming up with songs. We were just kind of like rapping verses. And like, I had listened to so much music that I knew a lot about rap and hip hop. Like my brother was showing me Tupac the same time I was listening to like I Seen Thriller.
Wow.
Like my brother, because that's actually when Pac passed away. We were 3.
Okay, so you had questions.
I was listening to Tupac when I was 3.
Did you understand his death though? Like, did you know when it happened?
My brother had told me a lot. I remember him crying.
Really?
And there was a big Tupac poster that he put up on the wall, and it said, I can't do the math right now. 79 to... No, this makes sense. Can't do the math right now, but he died at 25.
That also was the year.
81?
That
didn't make sense. 71.
His
Anyway.
birth date to his death date.
Yeah. And shout out to math, yo.
That's something that I kept failing.
And okay, I just did it. 71, everyone. So 71 and 96, and I remember looking at that, and I was like, "What's going on? What happened?" And my brother said, Tupac just died.
Wow.
Like my favorite artist. So Tupac and Mike were kind of synonymous to me. It's like Tupac, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. Like these are all legends to me, you know, at the time. Muhammad Ali, like these are all just like known as like the greatest at what they do. And I was like 3 years old taking this all in. Obviously Muhammad Ali.
At 3 years old, you're taking in Michael Jackson, Tupac, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jordan, and you're like studying them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were studying them.
I'd listen to...
And didn't even know.
I was just... Because all these older siblings, they each had their own thing to share that they were passionate about. And I spent so much time with them that I was just taking it all in. Like, I learned so much from them, especially in, like, a creative aspect, because our family was very into art and just music in general.
Oh.
So I'd listen to a ton of Tupac. I listened to a ton of Bone Thugs Harmony,
Nice.
ton of Nas, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. So at this point, I knew, and then, Kanye West on my own, like that was an artist that I picked for myself when I was maybe 10 to start listening to a lot. And at this point where we're rapping verses on these beats, I knew bars. I knew 16 bars was a verse. I knew that most hooks were 8 to 16 bars as well.
So when you say you picked the artist for yourself, so you're saying instead of looking at a Tupac poster or seeing Michael Jackson on TV, you saw something in an artist, in a pool of artists that you liked, and you just...
Yeah, Kanye West really spoke to me when he first came out. I remember seeing Through the Wire video.
Yeah, that was crazy.